Now your Storm Track 7 forecast on KWWL.
Tracking Hurricane Irma before it hits Florida. Let's check in with Storm Track 7 meteorologist Kiel for a look at your full forecast. Take off.
Good evening, Mac. And Irma is going to kind of keep our weather quiet, or help keep our weather quiet here as we head throughout the next several days. Irma's over my right shoulder. Over my left shoulder is Jose. So we'll talk about both of these systems. First, of course, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room. I mean, this thing's a monster, Hurricane Irma. It is a Category 3 hurricane right now with 125-mile-per-hour winds. It is moving off to the west-northwest at 9 miles per hour, so it has slowed down just a bit. It did make landfall here along the northern coast of Cuba and actually did stay over the coast at least slightly, which kind of made that weaken just a bit because it was a Category 5 last night when it did make landfall. Now, the problem is this is beginning to move over the warm waters. You can already see that eye. This infrared satellite picture showing that this thing is strengthening just a bit. We've got some extremely warm water here as it heads into the Florida Straits and eventually is making a beeline toward Key West here as we head into tomorrow morning. Storm Track 7 Live Weather Network out of Miami, Florida. You can see the skies are dark. They're now starting to get the outer bands of Hurricane Irma as this continues to track off to now the west and northwest. So here is the track of it. We'll get you down here very close. There's Key West right there. 2 o'clock in the morning Eastern time. This is expected to be a 130-mile-per-hour Category 4 storm. It's unfortunately going to hit the Florida Keys and then head up toward Naples and Fort Myers, Florida. Here we are at 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern time on Sunday. 140-mile-per-hour winds. So this is still going to be a Category 4 as this continues to track up the west coast of Florida. It's going to have high impacts on Tampa and St. Petersburg. We're talking quite a bit of storm surge, anywhere between 5 and 15 feet. This is still going to be a Category 1 over land Monday afternoon here in Georgia, and then eventually it is supposed to weaken. And then as we head into Tuesday, notice it's getting a little bit further off to the north and west. However, this is going to get picked up by the jet stream and moved off to the east here as we head into the later in the week, so we're not anticipating any effects here in eastern Iowa, maybe just some clouds here on Tuesday or Wednesday. As for future track here, there it is right now, just north of Cuba. It's going to continue to track off to the northwest. It's going to hit the Key West area here probably very early tomorrow morning. This right here, the eye of the storm, that's where we have the most strong winds out of this. And notice we're looking for a landfall here later tomorrow afternoon around Fort Myers. And then it's going to ride up along the Florida coast and eventually weaken to a tropical storm here late Monday afternoon in portions of Georgia. If that wasn't enough, we've got Jose behind that, and it has been affecting the northern Leeward Islands, which was also affected by Hurricane Irma earlier in the week. Notice this is going to start to make a turn, and where this goes next is going to be key because it could unfortunately ride up the eastern seaboard and maybe have some effects late next weekend or early a couple weeks from now. So still a lot of unanswered questions with Jose. I will certainly keep an eye on that as well. Here in Iowa, though, things are very quiet. A few clouds here tonight, mostly sunny tomorrow and Monday. We've just got really a nice stretch of weather. There's Miami once again on Storm Track 7 Live Weather Network. Certainly a different story here. A little bit of haze in the sky from, again, those the smoke from the wildfires off to the west, but it's not really impacting our air quality, so that's good news. A little bit cooler today in northeast Iowa, 72 right now in Dubuque. It's 77 in Cedar Rapids, Tama, and Waterloo. 79 right now in Iowa City. Storm Track 7 Live Doppler radar is dry. The satellite radar shows just a few clouds. Some of these might get into our area tonight, but I would not worry about the rain. This weak little system is going to weaken before it does get here to eastern Iowa. As for tonight, mostly clear sky expected across eastern Iowa. Lows between 52 and 55 degrees with the southeast wind at 5 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow we'll have a mostly sunny sky. Temperatures upper 70s to near 80 degrees, so a pretty seasonable late summer day. And your city-by-city forecast has temperatures hovering right around 80 degrees, not only for the next 3 days, but as we look at the Storm Track 7-day forecast, a really consistent weather here over the next week or so. And check that out. We finally can put at least a slight chance of rain in here as we head into next weekend, which we certainly could use it because really the last month and a half or so has been pretty dry across eastern Iowa. Mac?